Erica Arce,
Yes, hello.
back on again. Happy to have you.
Thanks. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah?
I've been having trouble with words today.
Why is that?
Probably because I'm running around and doing things, lots and lots of things all at once.
What's the main thing that you're doing right now that real estate wise that seems to be taking up the majority of your time?
A lot of tasks and processes. Just following the rules that are given to me by my team lead and through like KW Keller Williams in general.
And
So it's like
what's your
that's all trickling down in terms of like how my schedule is laid out.
okay?
And then I have to, there's a lot of tracking
Mm-hmm.
at Keller Williams. So you do the tasks that are assigned to you, and then you have to prove that you've done the tasks that
I
are assigned
see.
to you. So there's a lot of repetitiveness in that. So I think my life is being taken up with the majority of those kinds of things.
What's your favorite task right now?
My favorite task right now is doing open houses.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. What do you like about them?
I like that it's quiet.
Okay.
And so, because I'm running around a lot, doing a lot of different things, I like that I can go and look at a neighborhood and get an idea of the neighborhood, go into the house. I do little TikToks and videos and marketing things for the house specifically when I'm there to let people know that this is what's happening. So,
I've been sharing those.
yeah. So it's fun. And then sharing them and then sitting in the house and, people, it's not like hundreds of people are coming through every minute. So
Yeah.
for the most part, it's like a slow drip. So I think when I sit there alone and I have time to like be quiet, it's just a nice time to sit and meditate. It's also a nice time to look at whatever tasks that are overdue and just pop on my hotspot on my computer
Yeah.
and click through all the things that I haven't really gotten to. So
It's so interesting because when I talk about open houses on here, it's one of the things that seems to be split down the middle. People are either like, I love open houses and here's how I get my clients and this is like the best thing. And then there's other people that are like, I hate open houses. I feel like they're a waste of time. And I can't, I have learned by interviewing enough real estate agents that open houses to me seems to be more about the real estate agent and how they're going to and who they are versus like are open houses lucrative or not.
oh yeah, 100%. So
So
agents out there who don't like open houses, call me because I will do them for you.
she'll do yours.
I will do your open houses for you.
I like
happily. Yeah, it is a personality thing. So my team lead has shared that he really doesn't like doing that because he doesn't want to have to like sit for a chunk of period of time and feel like he's not doing all the other things that he wants to do. For
Right.
me, I'm like, great. If someone comes in, I've learned a little bit about the house. I learned a little bit about the neighborhood. I don't follow them through each and every room. I kind of just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
And then, if they have questions, I answer them. And I ask them some questions when I feel it's time, just depending on what I'm picking up on the people, like from the people energetically. And then for the most part, just like a really nice little couple of hours.
Yeah, and you kind of turn the place into your own office, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a new office today. What a great view.
Where is your open house today?
I have one on Sunday. It's in Dripping.
Okay.
It's the same one I did last Sunday. So it's 147 Elena Way.
In Dripping Springs.
Yes.
I'll edit that out quickly for you so that we can post that today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And you'll be there from
12:30 to 2.
12:30 to 2. Give us the address one more time.
147 Elena Way. Alaina.
Can you tell me a little bit about the house?
Yeah, it's a cul-de-sac lot.
Very nice.
It has a lot of private backyard. It backs up to a green space.
Go on.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Go on. And the master suite has a beautiful spa area. So there's this like giant spa bathtub. The walk-in bath is enormous. The bathroom itself is probably the size of anyone's usual kitchen space.
Wow.
So it's very spacious. The walk-in closet's not just any walk-in closet. It's probably the size of this room. So you can fit, I don't know, 20,000 bicycles.
Yeah, yeah.
All
a lot of stuff.
Those would probably go in your garage, but it's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, vaulted ceilings, more than 10 feet, 1 story, and lots of space.
What's it listed at?
The price is ridiculously low. It's a $748.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get that up today for you.
Yeah.
And then we can hopefully drive some traffic over the weekend.
Yes.
I like that.
Nice.
Get you some buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Help you out. He
Yeah.
should get you paid at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Buyers.
Buyers don't miss this house.
It's gonna go quick.
It's gonna go quick.
Isn't that what they say?
Mwah. Yeah.
So what else? I mean, open houses. Because let's see. Last time we chatted, you were one of my favorite guests because we kind of went down this rabbit hole of getting real deep and everything like that with the just life, right?
Aliens. I think we talked about
We
that.
did. We talked about aliens.
Outer space.
Talked about living like forever, like what that would be like.
Yeah, I think there was an interesting conversation around that. I'm still.
You'll have to watch it. I gave you the edit, so
I will watch my own video. Yeah, that should be fun. I'm still a candidate for somehow figuring out how to re-lengthen telomeres in our bodies so that we can stay a little bit younger, a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Because why should we have to start decaying at like 20 something? Just imagine like football players who or just athletes in general. They age out really, really young. Imagine if they could be an athlete.
Unless
for a
you're
really
Tom
long
Brady.
time. Well, and then so and he's very handsome too, which
good looking guy for sure.
He's a very good looking guy, and but he's in his 40s, but he's gonna get there.
Yep.
What if he can play like really well until he's 60?
That would change the game.
Right.
That would change the game.
Everything.
So what else do we need to know since I last saw you? I mean, we talked about a lot of things like that, but then, we were talking about some of your systems that you're doing and everything along those lines. I mean, any announcements, anything new?
Announcements.
So you joined a networking group.
I've joined so many networking groups.
How's that working out?
Good.
You meeting a lot of people?
I am. I also joined a bunch of Facebook groups the other day. I can't even remember how many, but I just clicked join. And I also have a Facebook group that I have not utilized in over a year. I started this Facebook group as a way for girls to get together in Austin, Texas, and do fun things like hiking and walking and doing things for a cause, etc.
Yeah.
And then I got really, really busy and I didn't pay attention to the group. So today I looked back into it and I saw that there's like 100 members in there that I haven't, addressed yet. And so I wrote a little note saying I intend on being more present in this group in 2024. And I changed the name of the group. So now it's called Austin Official. It's a public group.
Okay.
And it's not going to be just for girls. It's going to be just about everything Austin, things to do, where to eat, where to go, events, things like that. And then maybe I might even expand out to doing things.
And this is on Facebook?
It's on Facebook.
And it's called Austin Official?
Austin Official.
Well, people, you should look that up.
Yeah.
Follow it.
There will be some good content, Stu. You might even come on and offer some good stuff and talk about your...
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna definitely like it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the event we're doing January 9th. I've been promoting the heck out of that. We partner with the Craig Proctor Group, which is a real estate coaching organization.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we've identified, years past when we partnered with them, a lot of what we talked about was ways to generate leads.
Mm-hmm.
But this year they're switching it up because they've kind of identified that there are a lot of brokerages or even just a lot of real estate agents that are buying leads since things have slowed down a little bit.
Okay.
And the truth of the matter is that, and I know this firsthand, is when you're purchasing leads for other people that aren't paying for them, a lot of times the people who aren't paying for the leads, they constantly think, these leads suck. These aren't the good leads. These aren't the Glenn Ross leads, right? These aren't the good ones. And so what this is designed to do is ultimately help agents that are taking leads, whether they're paying for them or their brokerage is paying for them, and increase the conversion ratio. So it's pretty much just a 3-hour boot camp sales course that Gold Star is sponsoring so that we can get the agents there for free.
Nice.
They typically charge a couple $100 for the class, but it's going to be free to anybody who goes on my Eventbrite or reaches out to me directly. It's going to be at the Goosehead headquarters off of Breaker Lane. And if you've never been there, it's on the 9th floor. It's a beautiful building and it's a beautiful training room. And we are looking forward to kicking off the year and selling.
Yes.
Selling homes.
Because everybody wants to do that for people. Yeah, good stuff. Good
Well,
stuff. Well, thank you for sharing that. And
totally.
Is this a little question about that? So is the sales course, since it's about converting leads, is it mostly centered around calling, like phone calls and writing emails and texts, or is this about more like face-to-face
it's going to be mainly getting to a face-to-face,
Yeah, moving towards that step that you
yeah.
really
So this
wanted.
is
Okay.
going to be geared towards, yes, calling, texting, and doing all of the things that it takes to get
Yeah.
in front of the client.
Got it.
We hope that if you're able to get a client face-to-face, you know what to do from there.
That's right. You just put on your charming smile,
There it is.
and then they melt, and then they're yours.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then magic happens.
Magic, exactly. You come with the magic.
But that's I figured after the first of the year, January 9th, I feel like agents are going to be more, if you were to do something like that right now, I'd be like, oh, it's the holidays or whatever. So January 9th, we kick it off, we do it right. And a lot of these real estate training courses that because I go to them because I sponsor them. And all I really do is just change out certain words, like instead of saying, and realtor is loan officer. And it's really good for, even myself. I've used a lot of the tips and tricks and tactics and everything. It's a good refresher, even if you feel like you're some sales guru too.
Well, I think, if someone's sitting around thinking they know everything, then they probably don't know everything.
Ooh. That was the clip that just came out yesterday.
Oh, really?
Did you see that one?
I must have intuited. It must still be in the room somewhere, and I caught it.
He said, beware of anybody who acts like they know everything in this business, because I said it takes you a couple of years to learn 80% of what you need to know, and the 20% is ever changing.
Yeah.
It's always changing in this business. I mean, it's funny to me how many times I just got a phone call from a real estate agent just the other day that asked me, what is the requirement for Fannie Mae? Is it 60 days or 90 days that a person has to move into the house after they close? And I was like, is it 60 or is it 90? I can't remember. Right. And I've been doing this forever, and I should just know that. And I had to look it up because I kind of forgot. Yeah. And
didn't they just change something recently?
I don't know, but they're always changing things. They're always changing things. I mean, we had a couple guideline changes just this week that I'm pretty excited about that don't affect the clients, but affect us internally. And that's my point. Like, to constantly keep you up on this stuff, you could make a second job of it. That's why underwriters exist. It's their job to know those things. But yeah, if anybody says, "Oh, I already know, I'm good. I don't need to learn anymore," that's a red flag.
Yeah. Right up really high, red flag.
So going back to your networking, so you've been going to networking groups, you started a Facebook group, you're doing all of that. What are the key takeaways? I mean, do you have any stories for me? Have you met a life coach yet?
Yeah, I do know a few life coaches. There was somebody actually a little bit before COVID who I was speaking to, who's a life coach, and I just reconnected with him recently. I was going through just like tons of crazy things at that time, and I was like, maybe I should speak to someone who can have perspective. And it was incredible. I had 3 sessions with him, and I was like, I feel better now.
That's good.
And then I had a plan, and off I went. And so I think having a life coach, a mentor, even a therapist. I used to be really against therapy.
Oh, really?
I don't need therapy. Nothing wrong with me. Even that can be really helpful.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Just talking to somebody, I think, can be helpful, right?
Yeah.
That's why this is so much fun.
It's fun. I know. I just sit and listen and talk. Yeah, good stuff. So, what else? What else can I share? So, well, I have yoga students, and I have lots of students. I think, maybe I get an average of 20 students per class or something like that. So I already have this nice little group of people that come to me consistently. And so I feel like I shared this with you already, but if I did, you just stop me and say you have talked about this already.
Okay.
So I start to do this December what I've done in the past, a long time ago that I just, because I've been busy, I haven't really gotten back to, but I decided to do a giveaway on Instagram. And what I used to do really, really often, or probably every single class when I was teaching yoga full time, was old school, just get a little piece of paper and a pen and be like, sign up for my newsletter. Like, if you want to keep in touch with me, write down your name and your email address. And that, it was a religious thing that I did. And, once I stopped teaching full time, I stopped doing that. And so now I'm just like, well, I think I need to do this again.
Sure.
So I created a giveaway, which is on Instagram. On my
Tell us about it.
on my yoga Instagram though. So it's Erica Arce 2023, which is my
Well, I'm going to put it on my Instagram.
Oh,
So go
thank
ahead.
you. It's my yoga related a giveaway. And so what I really wanted to do is reach out to some local small businesses because I love building community and I love the idea of everybody helping everybody
Yeah.
in some way. And so it's like my way of giving for the holidays. So I reached out to several small businesses, and the ones who replied to me with interest were like, "Hey, yeah, great." And I was like, "Do you want to give something away? Anything?"
Sure.
So I have a friend in New Jersey who owns a yoga studio. So she's giving away 1 free month of virtual yoga. I have
Do we want to talk? Who's the friend? Can we help?
Pure Bliss Yoga. They're all tagged on my Instagram, and you have to follow them if you're going to join
Okay.
the giveaway. So that's
So
part
shout
of
out to Pure Bliss.
Pure Bliss. Tumbleweed Ceramic Studio, which is in Bee Caves, and it's a really lovely warehouse of a ceramic studio with great teachers. And I've taken classes there. Actually, made some tiki cups that are not finished because I'm busy, but they're in progress. And so they're giving away a free class.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have someone who's doing a breath work for anxiety for up to like 1 to 20 friends, and I'm giving away a free private one-on-one yoga class.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's gonna. Oh, and then there's a book about acro yoga and partner yoga from like a yoga author, and
One-on-one yoga sounds terrifying to me.
Yeah, and that's valued. I mean, I usually for new clients, it's probably like $150 per hour at this point, or a little bit more.
I don't
So
think I
it's
could
free.
do it.
Yeah,
I'm like too.
you can do it.
No,
Yeah, because I meet you where you're at.
that's too much vulnerability.
Yeah, too much vulnerability.
Too much vulnerability.
Too much vulnerability. So, but here's the thing: we can just like do what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Right. We just like sit and we talk.
Yeah.
And then
yoga.
Maybe you're not in that shirt. Maybe you're just like in a stretchier shirt.
Sure.
And then we just sit, and I'm like, okay, what does this feel like? Arms up, and then maybe we start to connect to some breath. I'm like, inhale, sweep your arms to the sky.
I see what you're
exhale,
doing.
sweep your arms out. Yeah. And then over time, it just depends on the person. We might do a full hour session, or we might take 30 minutes to chat, and then maybe 20 minutes to have a session, and then 10 minutes to chat again. So it just really depends on the person's comfort level, their physical level, their medical, like everything. I used to have clients who we'd sit and talk for an entire hour for like a one-on-one, and I'd be like, okay, it's time to practice now.
Right.
And then they'd go right back to talking. And then I have other clients that like we start exactly on time, we do the full thing for a whole hour, and then we end right on time and we say goodbye. So, I really like customize it to people. But that's all coming in a little tote bag with certificates and the
Very
book and all
nice.
of that. And there's going to be 3 winners, but there's rules. So essentially, you have to follow me. You have to follow all of the vendors. And so I'm increasing everyone's followers by doing that, which is what I want to do, and increasing engagement throughout the platform for everyone who's involved. So, and then some lucky 3 winners are going to receive some really cool presents.
Well, I will get that out in front of all of my followers.
Thank you.
When is the drawing?
I haven't really decided a date yet. Maybe you can help me decide that.
Well, I would definitely make it after the first of the year.
Ooh.
Because, you got to get some time to get people to do all of the following and things like that.
Okay.
And let's face it, winning something in the beginning of the new year, I mean, what a great way to start off the new year, to kind of invent yourself,
Oh, yeah,
getting all of the benefits that you can get from the meditation, from the flexibility, all of those things. I mean, that to me sounds like New Year material.
I love it. Thank you for that. And I will surely share this.
Oh, yeah. Well, you have to be there.
On
It'll
my
be
Instagram.
good for you.
I will intend on being there. And January 9th, 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., followed by lunch.
Yeah, there will be lunch. I don't know what we're having yet, but I'll make sure it's tasty, I promise.
Yes. good
So
stuff.
free meals. People like free food.
I like free food.
So do you have any big plans or goals going into the beginning of the year?
That's another thing that is like a huge Keller Williams thing, is there's lots and lots and lots of planning. So we take it from the big vision of like, I think I'd like to go on vacation, and I think I'd like to get more certifications, to like, we're going to break that down all the way down to day by day by day.
Yeah.
How are you going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's lots of things. One thing that's very personal, I would like to start some laser hair removal. It's like it's a very girly thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very, you can see, like, I'm just a really hairy. I've always
Is that
been
what it
a
is?
girl. Yeah, I'm just a very hairy. Anyway, so I want to do that. So that's my girly personal thing. I want to do.
I hear it's painful.
I hope not as painful as plucking. I hope. So
I've been told it's
plucking
painful.
and waxing for my whole life. I
Mhm.
started when I was a baby. No, I'm just kidding. My mom was like, "You got a unibrow, baby." Waxing that. No. Yeah. Hopefully not as painful as the other
Where do you
things.
get this from? Your mother's side or your father's side?
Who freaking knows? Like my mother's like hairless, my grandmother's hair. She barely even has eyebrows. Like I came out with like, and this is my. You should have seen my hair like 20 years ago. It was like,
Really?
and I just had it like this lion's mane. Like now I'm just, just getting old. But
I seem to be able to grow hair everywhere on my body except for my head.
well, we can do some gene manipulation.
Is that right?
Yeah, probably
I
at a
don't
certain
know.
point.
I don't know what I would do with hair. I've made the joke that, like when I first moved down here, I came down here sight unseen, so I didn't know anybody. And I thought, how funny would it be if I were to get like a professional like hair thing going and like really just went all out and like coiffed my hair and like
Yeah.
had this just beautiful hair, and then one day, just after maybe like 6 months or a year, just like took it off, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm like, "Oh, gotcha."
That's a big reveal.
Yeah, I'm bald. I think that'd be funny though, right?
And I'm free.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be so freaking funny.
I went bald when I was 19.
Okay.
And
How'd you feel about that?
Well, to be honest, I didn't realize I was going bald until this girl that I was talking to pointed it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, haha, you're funny. And I went immediately to the bathroom and I looked and I was like, holy shit, she's right. I'm going bald. And so I
Yeah.
just immediately shaved my head. And
Never
here
looked
we
back.
are 20 years later. And I've been a bald guy for 20 years.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Wear
Thank
it
you.
Proudly,
I do. I
you
do.
know?
I am who I am.
You are who you are.
That's right.
And that is enough.
Well, and that's how I feel when you're
Mhm.
talking about laser hair removal.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
so I shouldn't.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I think, Matt, that if I didn't do all of the maintenance that I do multiple times a week, day in and day out,
So it's a time saver.
I would probably have a beard as thick as yours.
Okay.
And like a really long mustache that I can curl like this and a unibrow and like I might look like Frida Kahlo or maybe a Neanderthal woman, but like
It'd be interesting to see who you'd attract.
yeah, like, and I could change my voice and be like,
Hey,
Mama want steak. Yeah, like I don't know.
Mama wants steak. There you go. That should be on your business card.
I do want steak.
Mama
Yeah.
wants steak.
Mama wants steak. Chicken wings.
I love it.
Yeah, so there's that. But you reminded me when you talked about like the hair thing and like the big reveal and being someone different and then, revealing who you really are. I don't know why it came to mind, but I watched this documentary about this regular dude. I think he was just like a young, I don't know, like in his 20s. Don't quote me on anything, but like he was a young guy who decided he was going to be a guru. And I think there's like a whole Netflix like documentary about it.
Okay.
He decided, I'm not a guru. I don't know anything about anything, but I'm just going to wear the robe and put on, he had the whole hair thing on too. That wasn't his, right?
Gotcha.
The whole thing. And then he just decided to like, and he named himself and he got all these followers.
Okay.
And then like what was interesting is that like it was all pretend because he was just trying to see like would people follow me if I looked this way and if I said certain things, and yeah, it happened. And then he started to become the person he was pretending to be a little. So he was like, well, I'm changing like through this whole, I don't know, this whole, what is it called? Test or whatever that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Or experiment. That's the word I'm looking for. Through this whole experiment I'm doing. And at the very end, after these people loved him and he changed some of their lives and all of that, he like had a meeting and said, this is going to be the very last meeting. And like he took all his stuff. He was like, I don't know what his name was, but he could have just said, yeah, and I'm Joe, the pizza guy.
Right.
Like I live down the road. Like, and what was interesting, it like really like like polarized the group. Like half the people were like, we totally forgive you, it's totally cool, and the other half of the people were like,
Felt misled.
or yeah, they were just like, never again will I speak to you, and then like that was the end. Like you totally broke our trust in like humanity.
I believe the correct word would be betrayed.
Yeah, you betrayed us.
They felt betrayed.
Yeah, they felt, which they're entitled to feel because it was all a lie.
Yeah.
But,
You know who's famous for doing that, right?
No.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, that's right.
Right?
With,
I mean, literally famous for doing that.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Borat,
Borat.
Ali G.
So funny.
What was the other one?
I don't even remember at this
There was
point.
Borat, there was Ali G, there was the gay German guy. I can't think of his
Oh my
name.
God. So
He was
funny.
good. And
Yeah.
then there was one more.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Borat
But
was
yeah,
the big one, though.
but Borat for sure. I have some quotes that I probably won't say here, but
Yeah.
off camera, just
Right.
in case.
Sure.
But yeah, someone who gets famous for doing that kind of thing. Well,
But isn't
I'm
it
thinking of
interesting,
you.
like, at the end of the day, what that basically boils down to is perception can be, reality.
Mhm.
And it's kind of a shame. It's unfortunately sometimes how I feel about, social media in general. Like, doing this whole podcast is a great example of it. Like, when, up until about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, like I didn't even have a Facebook or anything along those lines. And it wasn't that I was against it. It was just more along the lines of like, I don't want to be a part of this because it
Yeah.
felt like not real.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then when I thought about it in respect to work, it was like, I've got longevity in this business. I'm trustworthy. I'm good at my job. Like, any client should be lucky to work with me type of deal. And that should speak for itself.
Yeah.
And the crazy part was you had people that were getting online and they had a huge social media presence and they were stealing market share. And it's like, you have to be online and you have to be top of mind and you have to be present in that space or you will lose market share. Now, if you're okay with that, that's a
Mhm.
completely separate topic. But yeah, it's one of those things that, and I think this business is one of the worst ones where I feel like a lot of people take fake it till you make it
Mhm.
maybe a little too far. Because every real estate agent is a multi-million-dollar producer.
Yeah.
Every real estate agent is number one in their market,
Yeah.
right? There's a lot of that,
Yeah. 100%.
right?
100%. I totally agree.
Like, my favorite one is like luxury agent.
Yeah,
Like,
I
what
have
does that
that.
mean?
I have that on my little
Right? You're a
footer.
luxury agent,
I'm a luxury agent.
right?
Yeah.
So,
I inherit that from my team.
sure.
Which is, so that's a thing. Yeah, it is a thing. And I like when I first got into real estate, I was like, how is everybody like the top? And I would ask myself this question, like, how is everybody a luxury alien? I'm like,
Yeah.
this can't be true. But I don't know. Somehow you finagle the words to make it true. I
Well,
guess.
yeah, because the omission of facts isn't a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Right?
Or is it?
I don't know. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's really interesting. Like I definitely for a long time had this like push-pull love-hate relationship with social media. And I convinced myself, and you talked about perception is everything. Like
Well, it's not everything.
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It can
And
be.
yeah, and I convinced myself that it's what I needed to do, and I had to post this many times, and I had to follow the suggestions of. And this is when I was really into Instagram, and so I would post like several times a day. And then I stopped and I was like, why am I doing this? But now I'm back and I'm like, well, I guess I have to do this again. But I come at it with a different perspective now of like, there's a little more balance in my mind about it. What I really actually enjoy, because that's where I'm getting a lot of the energy, is TikTok.
Yep.
So I post a lot on TikTok. I just opened
I
it.
started a TikTok because of you.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I had one, but like there was
But you
not
started
much
to, like,
on there, and I started
yeah.
posting things and
Oh,
doing all this
awesome.
stuff because of you.
Oh, thank you.
You're
I'm
welcome.
glad
There you go,
I
TikTok.
inspired you.
Get her stuff out there more. She's helping you out.
But I feel like my personality and like the way TikTok is formatted, it's good for things that I do, and it's good for what you do too. Because there's a chance to post 10 minutes, 60-second, I think 30-second and 15-second videos. And, you can do something serious like post a little clip of your like what we're doing here, your podcast. And you also can just post something really funny that has to do with probably nothing that has to do with your work, and that will get lots of views too. So I think with TikTok, people want to see who you really are.
Yeah. I think in social media, that's the reason I do it. People want to troll you. They don't want to call you. They want to get to know you, and I think that creates a sense of comfort to a potential client because they feel like things are weighted in our favor. And so I think if they feel like they can troll or stalk you, then
that's good. And but I feel like Instagram doesn't offer us that ability because it's kind of like, look how perfect and curated like my life is, and this perfect gallery of images and videos, and so I'm showing you an illusion.
Yeah,
I'm giving you an illusion of what I am. Whereas TikTok is more real. They suggest like sit in your car, don't put on any makeup, like don't like wash your face, just sit in there and like look at the camera, say something really quick, and that doesn't matter. But
Right.
Instagram, it's like, well, let's get everything like tip top, make everything look great, and then sit at a beach somewhere and do something amazing.
Yeah.
So I
Do you know what TikTok used to be before it was TikTok?
It was like it was like for kids.
Mm-hmm.
I
It used to
know.
be called Musically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the only reason I know this is I dated this girl for a while who had a niece that was really, really young, and we like took her, uh, we took her roller skating. I'm a really good rollerblader, by the way.
Oh.
And so we took her roller skating, and while we were driving there, the entire time in the back seat, she's messing around with this app, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, it's this app called Musically," and she was probably like 7.
Wow.
So I'm kind of looking at this, and it literally was TikTok that it is today. And then because TikTok bought them and turned it into TikTok, but I mean, gosh, this was 7 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so now I thought, like you said, it was for kids, and then TikTok became a thing. I'm like, oh, that's for like little kids, and then adults started doing it, and now I'm on it, and I'm like, well, I guess that's how it goes.
And pushed all the kids out.
Oh, I'm sure kids are still on TikTok.
Yeah, they're just not getting like adult stuff, hopefully.
I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know what all the other people on it were like little kids, but it was all about like having like a hot song in the background, and like they showed you dances, and you were doing the stuff, and
yeah, fun.
now it's TikTok.
Wow, really well. Thank you, TikTok, for being amazing.
Take my information, TikTok.
Yeah, graph my face and make a clone of me in another country. I don't know. Yeah, so you're a good rollerblader.
Yeah, I used to, I
I'm
come up in a time where I'm old enough that rollerblading was like cool for a little while, and I got pretty good at rollerblading, and that was the first time I'd rollerbladed in like maybe 5 or 10 years.
Wow.
And I just remember thinking, am I going to be able to still do this? And I was able to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you do those things where you're like in a pistol squat kind of with like one foot on the ground and the other foot forward and you're just cruising?
Yeah, I think I could probably do that. Yeah.
That's fun. That looks fun. I think that looks cool. And then when people do like little swirls and they come up and
I can do the swirls.
fancy things.
Yeah, we used to play roller hockey more than anything is what it was all about. And you have to be a decent skater. And but it was interesting getting out on a roller rink with a bunch of little kids. It was good times.
Nice.
So.
Well, I have roller skates, but I never use them.
Why not?
Because I have carpet.
But there's roller rinks. You could always.
No, I want to roller skate in my house.
I see.
You know,
I see.
just kind of like get places faster.
Okay. Well, don't they have what I always see those kids in the airport using those wheelies.
Oh yeah.
With like or Heelys.
Yeah,
they're called
like
Heelys.
why don't they make those for adults?
They do.
They do.
Yeah, I mean they're not very fashion friendly, but like they do, and you could like
just roll places.
you could be in HEB just rolling down the aisle, grabbing your groceries.
There you go. Rolling up to the Starbucks, like front of the line, like what's that?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Fun. Why not?
I mean, we could start a trend.
We could. It's Austin. We can be weird.
Put it on TikTok. It'll blow up.
That's so funny.
Heelys.
I was in this large warehouse type space yesterday, and it takes a long time to get from point A to point B. So this dude, he just had a bike with him. So just so he can get to like different parts of this warehouse space faster. And I was like, that's a really good idea. If I was here every day as like
skateboard for me.
As you do a skateboard.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, they were doing a lot of recording, so I think that he'd probably get decked or something for the noise of a skateboard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man.
Skateboards are a little louder, that's for sure.
I used to be good at skateboard.
Really?
In 6th grade.
Wow.
I was very proud of myself.
Tell me about it.
Cool. I didn't do any fancy tricks or anything, but I just knew I was like I was cool and I had my balance and I can like, when you like.
I bet the boys love that.
Yeah, they did.
Skater chicks were always like way hotter.
Yeah.
Even if they just had a skateboard. Yeah. It was cool.
It was really cool. It was fun being like the tomboy for a while, and like until we all developed hormones, and then I was like, oh, they're looking at me differently.
Mm-hmm. Where did you grow up?
In New Jersey.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I prided myself on doing like being a tomboy and doing skateboarding and all the baseball and like just like all the things that you do.
With it being like for those that are watching, it's almost Christmas, and I think the weather today is a little dreary, but it's like 60 degrees, and it's almost Christmas.
Yeah.
Do you miss, me being from Ohio? Do you Do you miss the cold weather around the holidays?
Hell no. Hell no.
Hell no, she says.
If I could sing, I would sing. No, I don't. I think it would be, nice if one day, and I'm not wishing or hoping for this because it's probably not the best thing for Texas, but if it snowed one day and it was pretty and you can make a snow angel or like a tiny little snowman and then it was just over the next day.
Texans can't handle that.
No, they
If
can't.
it snowed one day, they'll shut the entire city down.
I know.
HEB will close. People will starve. Like
It happened. It happened on my birthday. It was like I was
ridiculous.
here for 2 months and we had snow.
Birthday's in February?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional being.
Is that
I was
right?
Born in February.
What's February? That's like
It's
Aquarius?
it's Aquarius, but then it's Pisces, and so I'm like the day Pisces starts. So I'm like I cry over everything.
So wait,
It's
you're
really
like
fun.
before the 15th, right?
I'm on the 20th of February. Anyone who wants to give me birthday presents early.
February 20th.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right after Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So people want to get away with doing that. Like I'll get you one present for both, and that just doesn't work.
It's just not okay.
It's not okay. It's just not okay.
Yep. I lucked out. My birthday isn't around any other holidays. I was born in May.
Oh, are you a Taurus?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
That makes sense. Being the business that you're in.
Yeah. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I really pay much attention to things like that, but it's fun.
I know.
It's fun.
But I could probably talk your ear off about the whole thing, but we can stop right there and move on to a different subject.
This is your podcast today. You let me
My
know what you
podcast.
want to chat about.
Yeah, Taurus and money is usually a nice, good match.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Your
like to hear
Earth
that.
sign.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I did know the Earth sign
Yeah.
thing.
Earth sign. So you're in May. You're in
Anything I
Taurus.
need to know about myself?
You can be stubborn.
Oh, yeah. That's. I think that's a male trait.
All men can be stubborn.
That's
There's my
right.
generalization. Yeah, but if it's a woman, she's not stubborn. She's bitchy.
Bitchy.
Yeah,
I do know a Taurus woman, and she's kind of a bitch.
but maybe she's just stubborn.
I love all the women right now that just heard that. They're like, I'm a Taurus. Is he talking about me?
She's like, cancel.
If the shoe fits.
Yeah, if it wear it. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'm just really I think
What's your
I'm
favorite sign?
Oh I don't know. It's weird because I'm a Pisces, and if I encounter other water signs, I feel like I can really pick them out pretty easily. But I like other Pisces, but if I really get to know, like if I get close to them, sometimes I really don't like them.
Got it.
And I'm like, too emotional for me.
Hmm.
I'm
Interesting.
the only one that can be emotional in this
see.
relationship. I need someone who's very steady. Well, my husband's he's a Cancer, so he's a June baby, but he's got that
real
nice.
sensitive.
He's very sensitive in a good way, but
That's
he's got that nice combination of like being really masculine
Mm-hmm.
and then also being able to be like, and I'm going to sit here and listen,
Mm.
and I'm actually going to take in what you're listening and not just pretend to, and then we're going to work on the things that you said you want to work, like those kinds of things.
It's very
So
mature.
he's extremely mature. My goodness, it's so good. Yeah.
That's awesome. How long have you two been together?
14 years.
14 years.
I'm a serial relationship person.
Interesting.
Yeah.
14 years is a long time.
I just like go.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Gosh, 14 years.
Yeah, that's my longest one. My second longest one was 12 years.
Wow. So you've been with like two people your entire life?
And then,
Sure.
they're in-betweeners, and those were fun. They were
Understood.
like, I'm like a collector. Like, I have like little like mental trophies. And then I rate them.
Wow.
Yeah, in my head.
I feel like that, what you just said,
It's very masculine.
no, is what I think, like, as a man, I feel like that's what women do. Like, I feel like, but I've never, like, I don't think I've ever found a woman that has admitted to that.
No, I actually don't know. I feel like I just admitted to probably, I don't know. I think I'd be the only one. I've never heard any of my female friends do this.
Well,
but
because they won't admit it.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. But
No.
I feel like
everyone gets
that's
rated.
what they do.
I feel like that's what men do.
Maybe on a looks level,
Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
men are
like
more like visual.
a 4 or like an 8 or a
Yeah.
10 or something like that.
I think men, yeah, if you were to ask them, like, all the girls you've been with, like, who's the hottest? Like, it wouldn't take them very long to be like, this one.
Oh my God, yeah, you're totally right. And I like that the question of like, okay, if she's like if she has like a really nice body, like her
Mm-hmm.
body's like an 8,
The like, would you rather?
but her face is a 4.
Okay.
You know, would you date her?
Right, right. No, would you rathers are my favorites,
Oh,
right?
so would you rather date someone with the body of an 8 and the face of a 4, or an 8 face and a 4 body?
I'm always going with the face.
The face, and I feel like
Yeah.
most guys will go with the face. That's what you're looking at most of the time.
It's what you have to
'Cause you
look
can always
at.
turn off the lights with the other stuff, right? And just pretend it's something else.
That, and I feel like I could be speaking for myself, but I feel like within reason, of course, I feel
Mhm.
like most men are willing to make concessions on body types,
Okay.
right? I don't
Mhm.
know very many men that are like, this is the body type that I must have or I will not be interested. But like you can't have like a busted face. Like that's
true.
kind of a non-negotiable, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm thinking of this girl I went to college with. She had this very nice body.
Mm-hmm.
She probably had like an 8 body. Like
Mhm.
she was lean, so think of like ballerina type lean, but not that muscular.
Mm-hmm.
And then her face was probably a 4. So
Mm.
not too pretty.
What made her face a 4? Let's start there.
Well, we think about symmetry, right? And how
Sure.
like, you know, just
So she's just kind of like fugly in the face? Or are we
there were
talking
just
like
some features.
nose? Or are we talking like bad teeth?
I think her eyes were and then there's nothing, I think really big eyes can be nice, but I think her eyes were really big, but they also kind of like popped a little
Maybe
bit.
she was on too much Adderall.
Yeah, who knows? But and then they also like you could see the whites of them sometimes on the top, which kind of indicates like
Aggression.
like someone like looking at you
crazy.
like this the whole time, but it's their
Yeah.
regular look.
That's creepy.
Um,
You did a
yeah.
really good job at that. That made me feel uncomfortable.
Creepy eyes. Yeah, so she had like kind of weird eyes, and then I think she had a really like long, like too long face. Like I'm trying to like put together her features, and then I think she had like a tiny, tiny little mouth or something like
It
that.
sounds like a horse.
She might have looked like a horse. I'm so sorry, whoever you are. I don't remember your name.
But the body of an 8. She is
she
a
did great.
horse.
She's a horse. She's a thoroughbred.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, but what was interesting about her is that she had this she walked very confidently. She held herself very confidently. She had a very nice walk. And I thought to myself, just like as a young girl, you know, how we look at other women and sometimes we compare ourselves to other women. I thought to myself, wow, like that makes her more attractive. That, you know, maybe her face isn't
Like
so
the
attractive,
confidence.
but she's holding herself very confidently. She also she was a little mean too, so I don't really like her. But I also like was just assessing that of like, wow, because what if a girl was like very pretty and she had like very low self-esteem? Is that attractive? I can be attracted to bad people, but
Yeah, I don't think it's attractive.
you know.
I don't.
So it's just interesting, like how you hold yourself, and you know your self-esteem and your whatever can shift how you look
For sure.
to other people.
For sure. I've got a weird one now that we're talking about this that
I saw your eyes going like
that I think about on a semi-regular basis. So like when I was younger, and by younger I mean like young, like before I was even like really like checking girls out,
Mhm.
you know, like 7,
Okay.
6, 7 years
like,
old.
well, what is that?
Yeah, like you remember like I think I'm a little older than you, but I think you remember like the Pam Anderson days and all that kind of stuff, and like everything
Back to Borat.
when everything when it was like women, it was all about the boobs. Boobs was a big deal, right?
Yes.
So you had like the Pam Andersons. I'm trying to think of who else I'm thinking about, like in the late 90s, or excuse me, late 80s, early 90s, and it was all about the boobs. It was boobs, 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 and I think from men at that time, it was all about like bodybuilding.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like Sylvester Stallone, you know, think of like WWF wrestling, like any one of those dudes. And then that's a great example. And then all the women that were those WWF wrestlers, what do they have? Huge boobs.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And then you get into like the 2000s, and then it became all about the butt. Right? And I still think we're in like the butt phase.
I think so too.
And
even in like kids' cartoons.
And now it's all about, for men, it's like abs and butt, right?
Okay.
Because like before it was like, how big are your biceps? How big is your chest if you're a dude? And if you're a chick, you want to have big boobs. And now it's like, what do your abs look like if you're a dude? And how big is your butt if you're a chick?
You're a girl. Yeah. It's so interesting.
Isn't that weird though? Like, what is that?
I think Noam Chomsky calls it manufacturing consent. It's like, you know, they're kind of like it's also about like we're being conditioned conditioned to respond to these things that are being thrown at us in terms of like how we should perceive other people and how we should formulate our likes, how we should mold our likes. And it's interesting because if you think about back to the 80s or the 90s or something like that, look at the lips that women had.
Okay.
Right? No one was concerned about how big or small their
Correct.
lips were.
Yeah.
And now
it's,
right.
we want bigger lips.
Bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, I understand like if you've got really small lips, you might want to do something about it. It might
Right.
make you more appealing to men, etc. But now it's just like
Getting out of control.
There's a lot of out of control, and then people are getting their butts done, and then
BBLs.
Yeah, and it's like some of these things that are going on are sometimes like, you know, you put your trust and you give your power away to these, you know, surgeons who, you know, may or may not have your best interest at heart, and then if they botch something, there's no going back.
So where
it's
does
just
it come
interesting
from?
to,
Like what starts it is what I really want to know, because one of the other things that I'm now old enough that I can't even believe I'm going to say, but we talked about like the rollerblading years, and like this is going to be like late 90s. Like I said, remember like Jinko jeans?
Kind of. Are those the big ones?
Yeah, huge like
Yeah, with the like
Jinko jeans, and like
Yeah.
at the time chicks were wearing like mud jeans, like flares.
Yeah.
And then that was like the thing, and it was all about like low rise flare jeans for girls, like Britney Spears, right? Picture Britney Spears, we're showing
Yeah.
our bellies. And for dudes, it was like big straight leg jeans and like baggier clothes. And then that like went away, and we immediately went to skinny jeans and for men,
Yeah.
and girls are wearing leggings every single day, even when they're not in the yoga studio. And now I'm watching it come back to where I'm seeing girls are wearing like flares again.
Yeah.
And it's popular. Like skinny jeans are out, right?
But who's starting?
Who's doing this?
Who's doing this to us?
Right? Because if it was just like chronological and not
Yeah.
like cyclical, I would understand it. It would
Yeah.
make more sense to me. It's like, all right, chronologically, here's just what's changing. But then to watch it come back full circle, and you're like, the only thing I can think is the only thing. And so going back to butts and boobs and all of that kind of stuff.
All conspiracy.
I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but it makes me wonder if it has something to do, you know, because I'm one of these people who thinks that like everything has something to do with like what was going on when you were like before the age of like 10.
Okay.
And so if you're before the age of 10 and you're born in, say, like, you know, the 80s, like me, and big boobs was the thing, and blah, 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 all the things that I described, big hair, don't care, big boobs.
Yeah.
That's like old to you. You're like, that's an older person.
So you rebel.
So you rebel, and you're like, oh, big butts. I like big butts. I cannot lie. And you're all about the butt. Well, now children that are being born today, are they going to be like, ugh, big butts? That reminds me of like all my mom's friends.
Yeah.
Like that's like too mommy-ish
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Even
And
the jeans.
right.
Like, these
Oh, that's right. Holes in
these
jeans. Yeah.
are mom
They're-
jeans.
yeah. Right. Mom. They call them mom jeans.
Mom
Oh my
jeans.
God, you just
Yeah.
blew my mind. That's what it is. And so now it's like if you grow up, if you're born today, if you're under the age of say like 8 years old, are you going to look at things like yoga pants and big lips and big butts and go, that's mom stuff?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
are like men from 25 years from now going to want women with like bigger boobs and flat butts? And I mean, I don't know.
I think also the haircut or the bangs are like up to here.
I
and
hate
it's
that.
like, you know, maybe they want that look.
Well, maybe the girl next door is going to come back.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know what I
never
mean?
know.
Because she hasn't been around
Is
for
it
a while.
Winnie Cooper from like the Wonder
Correct.
Years or something.
Let's face it. Now that I think about it, the girl next door has
Mhm.
been gone for a while.
She needs to come back.
Maybe the girl next door is coming
All
back.
right, network TV.
There it is. Is that? I mean, but what's the point of it all? Like, I know it's to like sell shit,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. It's the weirdest thing to me.
Well, I think and like so you get this new group of a generation of kids, and they're like, ew, like we don't want to like do what our parents are doing, so we're gonna do our own thing. And then what do they have to look back towards is like things that haven't happened in a while, so it's cyclical, it comes back, but they sort of put
Make
their
it
own
their
spin on
own.
put their own spin on it or whatever, and then all the conditioning happens of like, okay, you're seeing that in marketing, you're seeing that in TV, you're seeing that in movies, you're seeing it in friends,
It's
you're
like
seeing it in books,
validating it.
like validating it, or even like pushing it. Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all of those things, which I think is interesting. Like,
Well,
who's
one
doing
thing I
that?
find interesting is like
Yeah.
I can't even remember where I read this, but they did a study and it was men.
Okay.
So I don't know if this is the same for women, but it rings truer with men because again they're more like visual or whatever.
Hmm.
They're more into like looks. Um, and they asked men like, "What's your type?
Okay.
What are you like into? You know, is it blondes? Is it brunettes? Is it tall women?
Are
You
you a
know,
bad person that doesn't shut off your phone when you're in the middle of a podcast?
right?
When my phone is always off except for this 1 hour for some reason.
You're
Okay,
good.
there we
You're
go.
good. So they asked men like, "What's your type?" And it was some like high percentage, over 50% of the men
Yeah.
that like described what their type was when like put in a room with different types of women,
Mm.
they seemed more attracted to something different than what they described.
Well, that's really interesting.
And and I think what's interesting about it is it's like as a man, especially as like a young man, where do men like get an idea of what their type is?
Their mom. Most men are, I mean, at least I hear, like, don't quote me on any of this, like, statistical stuff, because I'm like, I probably got it from TikTok. But what I hear is, like, most men are attracted to women who are like their mothers
I
and
could
who
see that.
even in, like, facial features,
Yeah.
too. So that's interesting.
I could see
And
that.
personality, a little bit like that.
I could definitely see that. I feel like because I feel like younger men are way more into like blonde women,
Mm.
and let's face it, like natural blondes are not as dominant
Anymore.
well, not naturally,
Oh, okay.
naturally.
Got it. Maybe in a different country.
And let's face it, like as a mother, you know, as you get older, you kind of tend to go back to your natural look. At least I've noticed that with women. You know,
Mm.
I feel like younger women in general are doing a lot more to themselves
Yeah.
than older women who have 2 kids and a job and more shit to do, right?
They're just, like, overwhelmed.
Right.
Yeah.
And so naturally, I think most women are not natural blondes. And therefore, it makes me wonder. I'm like walking myself through this right now. I really haven't thought about this, but it makes me wonder if younger men would say, I think blondes are hotter because initially they're like, I don't want to be into something that's like my mom.
Maybe.
Right.
Because then it's like a weird, uncomfortable, like, is it called Oedipus complex? Is that it? Like when you fall in love with your mom and
I know there's a
want to kill
thing.
your dad or something. I think
I
it's
know
like
there's a
Oedipus
thing.
complex. Yeah.
It's creepy.
Guys don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moms don't like that. Neither do dads.
But I feel like if I brought 100 women in this room between the ages of like 25 and 40,
Mhm.
the younger ones would either be blonde or would have their hair dyed blonde.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
And then
we'd have to do an experiment.
older women
Yeah.
are like kind of doing whatever their hair does.
Well, because it's like the upkeep. It's like once you get older and you start getting white hairs, then it's every 6 weeks or maybe even every 4 weeks you have to go back to that and redo it. And if you have really dark hair, right, you're just going to see it. Whereas if you have blonde hair, it just kind of like melts in and melds into like the
That's
blonde and
true.
you don't really see it. So it's really annoying.
I've seen a lot of women who are rocking the gray lately.
And I like that for some women. And
some women pull it off.
Some women look really beautiful. And I have to say at this moment in time, no, thank you. Like,
Right.
I don't want that. I still want to at least attempt to look like I'm still 15 years old. And I think I'm doing a really good job at it. I'm just kidding.
I'm glad you brought up the age of
Yeah.
15. I was thinking,
Really?
I swear to God, I was thinking about this today.
Well, I keep pulling these thoughts from your room.
No, because I'm not
something
even
else.
joking.
Yeah.
I saw something on social media, and it didn't pertain to this, but it made me think. As a woman, and you can give your personal answer, and then I'd love to hear what you think the broad stroke answer is. What age do you think women would want to like freeze themselves physically? Forget about like just like you said, 15.
Oh, like in terms of looks.
Correct.
Oh. It's interesting because I have tons, and we all do as women. I think we have probably more pictures of ourselves than men do.
Mm-hmm.
If I look through my whole history of what I look like and how I felt I looked best, I would say I like my body best now.
Okay.
In terms of like my age and the things that happen with like age, I can say I still really like my face now. I like everything about my look now.
Why'd you say 15?
Oh, I think I was just being silly and
Okay.
being exaggerative.
All
But
right,
when
fair
I was
enough.
15, I was like probably just like adorably cute, but somehow ugly at the same time, because you're like developing.
You're in that
Like
gawky stage.
Yeah, you're like, I had a very nice body when I was 12 years old. Like I was very muscular, very athletic. So I had like an adult kind of look in my physical body. I was small, shorter. And I think I looked a lot older than I was, so I could sneak into clubs when I was younger.
There you go.
Which I did, and which was very fun. But I think I might want to try and freeze myself maybe like at, I don't know, 28, 30.
That would be
Something like
my
that.
answer for me.
Yeah, like it's a
28.
nice, like, it's like you're not too young, you're not
Yep.
too old. It's like,
You're not like a
Yeah,
dumb 21-year-old kid,
yeah.
and
But
you
you
don't
can
look
still
like a
have your own
baby.
mind.
Yeah.
Like, I want this mind in that body and that, younger self. Because you're not like
You want
bending
the
over.
face of a 10 and the
Yeah, the phase of a 10. But I might still have a nice body. I like my body better now because I'm more like, I've kind of honed it over the years. But like you're not like bending over and like hurting your back picking up a tissue when you're 28.
No.
And
No,
like
that's true.
if you break like 3 nights in a row or you don't sleep, you're still wide awake.
Right.
The next day.
Getting old's fun.
It is really fun.
It's got its perks.
I enjoy it. It's lovely.
I'm not hating it, but I'd like it to happen slower.
Yeah, right. Back to telomeres.
Right?
Science.
So going back into 2024,
That's,
we kind of talked about goals a little bit.
yeah.
Laser hair therapy, but anything career-wise that, you feel like you're
Yeah.
really going to focus on this year?
Just continuing to grow as a realtor. I think I'd like to connect with more people like you.
Mm-hmm.
Make more relationships because I feel like I know my strengths. I've been in business before and in different ways, and I feel like my strengths are in building relationships and like sincere ones and genuine ones,
Yeah.
not just like I'm being kind because it's a strategy and a tactic. It's more
Sure.
like this is who I am and I actually really care. And so like building that out is really important to me because I feel like then you can develop reciprocity. And so, you and I could work together to grow each other's business and then so on and so on and like the
That's how it
circle
works.
that I'm working. And so that's a huge part of my plan. Another part of my plan is just to really start to hone into, what's the one thing that I really want to focus on that I feel like, and it's a little premature to say at this point. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't think I want to say it like out loud in public.
You don't want to manifest it?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I have to kind of do a little more research on it because there's so many ways to navigate a real estate business. And some people go for like every single method. And some people say, well, this is how I built my business, this one thing right here. And another person says, well, no, like that sucks for me. Like when we had talked about this a little earlier, I do it this way.
Yeah.
And I already know what I'm naturally gravitating towards. But I want to test it first. So I haven't tested it yet. And I think that the only way I can see if it's something I really want to pursue for the long run is that if I put my toe into the pond and be like, okay, let's just see, test it out.
Let me ask you this: if you, how do I say this? If you had like a blank check,
Mm-hmm.
but you were but you can't say, oh, well, I would hang out on a beach. Like you're still going to pursue real estate. You're going to stay in
Yeah.
real estate. You're still going to work, but like there's no pressure financially. You can spend as much money as you want and your bills are paid, whatever, but you still have to succeed in real estate. What would you do?
Oh, I'm going to continue to invest. So that, my idea is to have more and more properties.
No, I mean like for your business.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it too, is like
Okay.
investing, having more properties, making more money, giving people more places to live. And I also want to have land, like a big piece of land so that I can do fun things with, like, let's say you're an acupuncturist or you're a loan originator or mortgage banker or something like that, then you can come to one of my spaces and host an event. And you can rent it out for the hour, the day, the weekend or something and do something fun with your people or whoever else is on campus, things like that. So a lot of it is about bringing people together into like a hub.
Yeah.
And people from various areas of life who maybe wouldn't normally mingle.
Okay.
So yeah.
And so closing deals that way?
Yeah, I feel like I'm like my personality, and is because of, I've done this for the last 15 years or so, is like people come to me. Like,
Yeah.
And that's how I want it to stay.
And
it's
then
like,
you sell them houses.
yeah, you come to me and then we talk about things and then we build a relationship and you decide, yeah, I want to move further along with this relationship with this person. So yeah, of course I want to sell houses. I want to list houses. I want, to make buyers happy. I want to help people build out their financial dreams and their home dreams. Like that's certainly a huge part of it. And speaking more towards like my method, like how to get there.
Yeah.
So like the idea of like even what you're doing here, you're going to have a bunch of people coming into one space.
Right.
And somehow there's going to be someone that's like, I have a home. And another person randomly is going to be like, well, I have a buyer. And then there might be this nice connection that happens that
is the
we're
plan.
not trying to make it happen, but it happens naturally, organically. So the organic and intuitive aspect of it, or just, maybe law of attraction or however you want to think about things, that's what I want to bring into my space.
So, like, to unpack it, blank check, Erica buys. First thing she does is she buys a piece of land, puts basically like commercial buildings on it to help other business owners.
Think more like yurt. So think of like maybe not commercial, but think more like boho, like maybe where boho meets like commercial space.
Okay. And then, but you're still, okay, commercial, I meant by like, these aren't going to be places that people are going to live.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing, blank check to increase business in real estate is purchase land, purchase commercial space to rent with the intention of creating organic relationships to increase buyer and seller opportunities.
Yeah.
There it is.
Or just like community opportunities. So my acupuncturist goes to you, you go to her, or my massage therapist goes to you, you go to her. And when I say my, it's just like the people who might be renting from me, like here and there, or just coming in and saying hello.
Yeah.
Because we're having a get together.
I like it.
A networking get together.
It makes sense.
But it's all like my idea is like I'm the magnet and the hub.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm just like pulling from all the places.
Yeah. Is there anybody that you know that is doing that right now?
No.
Is that you don't know?
Do you know anyone who's doing that right now?
I do.
Oh. Let me talk to them.
The only reason I ask is because one of the things that I think is always, important is I am not a big believer in like the reinvention of the wheel.
Yeah.
I feel like someone has already done it, and you can always like make the wheel better.
Yeah.
I relate that to like television. You had black and white TV, and then color TV revolutionized television. And then we had these big, gigantic tube televisions that weighed like 150 pounds. And now we've got these super thin, flat screen TVs that, are light and colorful.
Yeah.
And now we're putting computers into them. I mean, so that's kind of how I think of things. And anytime I ever have like an aspiration, kind of what you've described, I'm like, who has done this before?
Yeah.
And I should probably connect with them.
That would be great. If, someone I'd love. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I will give you their name.
Well, thank you.
Anything else you want to cover? Believe it or not, we've been going an hour and a half.
I know it's felt like longer, but then I was like, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the time.
You're easy to chat with.
Oh,
I feel like we could keep going, but I actually have a 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would just say we could do this all day. It's Friday. I've got some champagne. Like, we just,
pop it out.
just get going. Make it a
Oh
true
my
Friday.
gosh. Yeah, right. If
Next
we were
time.
musicians, I'm not, but in my next life, I hope to either have like a good singing voice or have a good like musical talent. But I think if we were musicians, we could just like pop out the keyboard. You could sing.
I am a musician, and that has been done here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been done.
Well, that sounds fun.
It is fun.
Well, I could like shake a maraca. Like
we have those. What I mean? We have maracas.
I could be that person.
All right.
I can do this. A child can do this. I can do this.
You know how to clap?
I do. Look.
Yeah.
See, I'm good.
Speaking of clapping and maracas, it always makes me think of Kanye West.
Oh.
Because, and after I say this, I honestly encourage you to start listening to what I'm about to say, because even as a musician, I never thought about it until Kanye West said this. He said, if you want to make a hit song, the number one thing that you have to do is, number one, keep it simple. Number two, you have to have hand claps, and you have to have any kind of like oohs or ahs or anything that isn't words that are just like vocal
fillers.
Yeah. And the reason for that is because those 3 things that I just described is something that anyone can do.
It's inclusive.
Right.
Ooh.
So you'll notice if you listen to a lot of songs, like the one that I think about a lot because it fits exactly, is Ed Sheeran's Shape of You.
I like that song.
So if you listen to that song,
Mhm.
all it is hand claps. It's the oh ah oh ah oh ah
And
oh
everyone can
ah.
do that, even if it's
Right.
like really low, like off key.
And
Yeah.
and not that I'm a big fan of Ed Sheeran, but it's a great example of what Kanye was describing. And that song like won a million Grammys and a million things. And the truth is it's not a really good song. It's
Yeah.
not, right?
It's simple and
It's
people.
super simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's got oohs, ahs, hand claps, and then just a little dink, 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 dink. It's like there's
Yeah.
nothing to
And
it.
people are like ding, ding, ding.
People are like, I love this
Yeah.
song. Why do I love this song? It's like because it's inclusive, because you can be driving down the street and go, oh, whoa, like it's easy and it's hand claps and all that
Nice.
kind of stuff. And a lot of Kanye songs are like that. Just a lot of music in general is very much like that
At least
nowadays.
they're modern music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's inclusive.
Well,
That's what it
I
is.
think to summarize everything that you've been trying to ask me, which is like, what do you want to do in 2024? I want to make some hit songs.
You want to make some hit songs?
Yeah,
I dig it.
I know, like a top 20 chart of real estate hit songs. Not actually songs, but like,
No,
you
I
know,
get it figuratively.
figuratively.
I'm following you.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure. I mean it. And we
Same.
got to get you on again in January, and
Yes.
we do like a planning thing to make sure that we're making all the hits.
Cool. Yeah.
right.
Hit after hit. Thanks. Clapping.
Awesome.